My name is Tracy Vassiliev. I work at the James F. Doughty School as a science teacher, primarily for 8th grade. Invention Convention is a project that spans all 4 quarters. We begin in the beginning of the year doing some research in science class, looking at articles and analyzing articles and trying to find the science in it and apply that to new invention ideas. And then by the end of the 2nd quarter, we're really getting ramped up for Invention Convention, which occurs in April, right before April vacation. And the entire 8th grade student body participates in Invention Convention, and we have a school convention here in the gymnasium, and we have about 40 judges that come and interview the students for each of their inventions. At the school level, we have about 15 students that are invited based on their scores to go to the University of Maine at the State Invention Convention, which is in May usually, and they present their projects at the State Invention Convention. The gymnasium at the New Balance Rec Center is filled with inventions. So there are over 100 inventions usually presented all the way from 5th grade all the way up to 8th. And this year they gave 3 places for each grade level, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, and then an overall award for the best in show. I've been doing Invention Convention for almost as long as I've been here, and over the years we've done very well. Every year we've placed at least 1 student, most of the time more than 1. In several years we've swept the whole category, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, honorable mention, best in show, and whatnot. The kids work really hard, and we're fortunate because they get to work with our librarian, Mrs. Patterson, where they go in, they start doing research why their invention is important, and they have to support why their invention is important and meaningful. And that takes a lot of time, and they have to pull from research, and they have to graph the research, and they have to present that research to their judges. The benefits of this is that it's truly authentic learning. I mean, these students all have their own ideas, and they're doing their own research. So it is truly authentic work that they're producing. They help each other. They often ask each other for advice. And in fact, a lot of the STEM Academy students that were freshmen this year, I saw them at the science fair, and I asked them how the science research went, and they said that actually Invention Convention helped them quite a bit in getting to where they are today in the STEM Academy. So that was nice to hear. Although we do it in science class usually, it does span all curriculums. They have to write persuasively. Students are asked to do graphing and understand their graphs and make sure they can interpret them correctly. They have to look at past trends and make connections with their new invention idea. We also ask them to think about the impact their invention has on the environment. And this is something that's been new within the last maybe 4 or 5 years, that we've asked to do life cycle assessments. Life cycle assessments can get really complicated, but the students just think of it on a very simple level and consider how their invention, from its cradle to when you dispose of it, how that impacts the environment. So I think that's an important aspect of Invention Convention. We've seen many different types of projects over the years. Some of them have been really funny. Some of them have been just ahas and eureka's, like great ideas. We try to get the kids thinking, and that's why we do a lot of the science article reviews initially. We kind of want to think outside of themselves and get a bigger picture. Some of the past inventions were things like the crank call, which is a phone case that actually has a crank in it. If you're low on battery, you can crank it up if you have to make a call, and it will charge your battery. Other ideas was biodegradable kites. A lot of kites are lost to sea on beaches and stuff, so it was a way to be more environmentally friendly. So this year we had Isabel Verosco won Best in Show as well as first place for 8th grade with her idea of a hydro guard, which is a mouth guard that athletes will use to indicate or sense when they're becoming dehydrated. It actually would change colors. So a coach would see that mouth guards are changing colors and that it was time for a water break. One of the inventions this year was called Case Closed. It's by a student named Grace. She wanted to address the issue of distracted driving. So what her invention does is when you put the car in the key in the ignition, that the case for the phone actually closes so you cannot access it. You can't answer the phone, make a call, or do any texting. And this is for safer driving. For more information about Invention Convention, you can go to Foster Center of Student Innovation's website from the University of Maine.